If your period feels like that annoying monthly visitor that shows up, it literally ruins everything. It makes you feel terrible every single month and you literally struggle to get out of bed, girl, we actually need to change that because it's not normal. And by the end of this video, you're going to know like exactly how to kind of move your life based off your cycle, how to fix major symptoms like cravings or serious cramps, or just like the things that people tend to normalize because it's just our period. Because I want you to understand that your period is literally your body's monthly report card. It's literally your uterus trying to communicate with you and let you know, hey, it's me again. We kind of got some stuff to talk about and you've been ignoring my message. And it's actually really sad to say that I didn't really understand my uterus because they don't teach us this stuff that much in high school and school. And so your uterus is literally right below your belly button, like between your hips. And it can be like this small little balloon and grow obviously into a huge watermelon or beyond that because you're going to be carrying a child if you decide to do so. And it's like every single month, it's packing some comfy things in preparation for that baby. And if there's no baby, then it's just like, let's go with that comfy stuff that we were preparing for. And it's not meant to be painful. Every single month that happens when you're cleaning out your comfy insides, it's not meant to keep you bedridden. You create that safety place for a baby if you decide to do so, and then it lets go. So let me get you to understand exactly how your cycle works so that you can understand how you're supposed to act based off of who you are in those different parts of your cycle. Like that's literally the cheat code to everything. Knowing more about your body, including if you want to lose weight, build muscle, whatever it is. Because if you're getting bullied by your own hormones, how do you expect to succeed in other places? And this is the stuff that we weren't actually taught in health class about our own bodies. Like we deserve better. We're high achieving women who are absolutely killing it in our fields. We deserve to know about our body and why we are like succeeding in certain areas. And then we're like literally crying, breaking down in 1 week. And then we're excited to do things the following week. We're saying yes to parties and invites and events. And then the next week we're like, why did we say yes to that? Because we never were really told to understand our bodies. And there's only recent studies that are really coming out right now that are helping us realize that even the world itself is run on a 24-hour clock for men because our cycles go upwards to 28 to 32 days. Our hormonal clock is on a monthly basis. Theirs is on a daily basis, yet our world is revolved around them. And our period is literally our monthly report card. It's our fifth vital sign. You know when you go to the doctor's office and they check for your heart rate, your blood pressure and all that stuff? Our period is our fifth vital sign. It literally is telling us how our whole body is doing. Like our heartbeat tells us how our heart's doing. Our period literally tells us how our body's doing, but we were never taught to understand her. We were never taught how to communicate with her. And if you have PCOS, that's when your hormones are trying to literally communicate with you even more. And I know it might feel like you're not in your body or feel like your body's broken. I promise you deserve to have this information because your body might be working overtime to try and communicate with you and you just don't know how to listen. And I'm going to put a link to a few places that I was able to get all this information from. Just for example, the Period Repair Manual. If you have not read that book, I might be like giving you some amazing information. This is just a speck of what I've learned about what our body naturally does every single month. So buckle up. That was really dramatic. That was a lot. Sorry. But anyways, back to the topic. And don't even get me started on birth control pills. I don't know if you were like me, but I got put on birth control early. And birth control is literally covering up all the issues and all the struggles that we've had since we were young. All of our hormones that we're developing, we covered it with a Band-Aid called birth control. Because what happened? Every single time you went to the doctor and you're like, I got acne, birth control. Every single time you went to the doctor and you're just like, my cramps, they're like, birth control. Every single time you're like, I can barely get out of bed every single month, they're like, birth control. It was literally just our hormones developing. And a lot of the times, if we really understood what we needed to give our body and how we need to put nutrients in our body, we would literally be able to not deal with those symptoms, as well as be able to develop our hormones from that young age into adulthood. Do you know how many women have had to get off birth control and were on birth control since they were young? I don't know if you're on birth control or if you experienced getting off of birth control, but getting off of birth control is something that you can't even explain because it's literally you're starting to now feel your hormones from when you were first put on birth control. Meaning people that were getting put on birth control from when they're 50 and then getting off of it when they're 30, 15 years of non-hormonal growth. And then you have to try and realign with yourself again. It is an experience that you can't even describe. People don't warn you enough for what your body experiences when it gets off birth control. No one actually warned us that all those issues that we dealt with when we were young, we didn't need to just get thrown a pill. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So let me break this down in a way that actually makes sense because remember, I'm going to create a format based off of 28 days, but your cycle might be different and that's normal. Funny story, whenever I end up talking to someone and we're like, we're both on our period, I'm always like, yay, blood sister. So I decided to write Blood Sisters. Let's talk about your menstrual phase. That's going to be from days 1 through 5. So first, of course, you're going to talk about your period. This is like your inner winter. This is when you're bleeding. But remember how I was talking about your body prepares, makes everything all comfy and nice, and then releases all the comfy and nice things in preparation for a possible baby? Yeah, this is when you are releasing. Think like wintry vibes, like you want to hibernate. You don't want to go outside and have a snowball fight. Like I invited all my friends and they didn't want to have a snowball fight with me this year, but it's fine. Anyways, so we have 4 phases and I want you to think of them as like seasons, but seasons that are happening in your body at different times every single month. And there are 4 different vibes, 4 different personalities living literally in one body. And the main players of this cycle is going to be estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. If you've never heard these names before, they're your hormones. They're like little tiny messengers that tell your body to do different things. And these 3 need to work in harmony. Think of them like your destiny's child. And here's what happened. These 3 beautiful hormones didn't develop as much as we'd want them to throughout our years because we kind of slap pills over them. So that's why, again, when you hop off the pill, when these come back, it might not feel like your body. So these 3 will do certain things on different states of your cycle. Some of these need to work together a little bit more, and they end up feeling a little chaotic at certain times. And so we need to know when that happens so that we can plan our days accordingly. So we're talking about our menstrual cycle now, which is from days 1 to 5. When you bleed, you want to wear like soft things like these sweatpants that I'm wearing that are, I think they're teddy, that teddy type of material. Like that feels nice. And you want to be able to move a little slower. You're not going to be trying to hit PRs right now. And that's because estrogen and progesterone are literally at rock bottom right now. Forgot to hold this. But your energy is giving like phone at 2% with no charger, you know? So trying to do crazy workouts right now is not going to be a good idea. It's like when you're trying to run a board meeting and you literally had no coffee and your brain is completely foggy. Like it's not going to go well. You're going to feel so uncomfortable. Now, some of us, myself included, with most of my cycles actually feel more like ourselves when we're actually just got our period. Like I sometimes feel like, hey, here I am. So don't panic if you don't fit everything that I'm describing right now. Next, let's talk about your follicular phase. Days 6 to 14. Think of this like your inner spring, like the sun is coming out. So this is where estrogen starts rising and suddenly you feel hope again. You might feel a little flirty. You feel creative, you know, you become a social butterfly. You come out of hiding and then you're saying yes to literally every single event, networking event, every single work social event. And you're thinking like, I should start a business, because you should, because your body is literally starting to prepare to release an egg. Next is our ovulation phase. We're talking about your ovulation phase, which is around day 14. This is your inner summer. This is the main event. This is where your body releases the egg from your ovaries. This is where your estrogen peaks, and this is where your testosterone gives you like a very magnetic energy. Like your skin is glowing, you feel confidence, like your confidence is through the roof. Like this is where you have like the perfect work day, or you're going to a networking event and you're like, I am the most communicative, confident person in the world. I don't know why I said communicating, but this is when you feel like you can literally negotiate anything. This is like the perfect work day where everything like clicks. You're crushing your presentations, your ideas are landing. You're literally sitting in front of meetings, you're like, yeah, I got this. You can negotiate anybody. But if you're trying to get pregnant, this is literally your only window every single month. But if you're not trying, then you need to understand that when you're healthy and you're regulating regularly, this is when you need to be extra careful. This is why I'll get texts like 3 months in like, coach, I guess what happened? And I'm like, I warned you. I warned you. But okay, we can switch our intentions because we want a healthy pregnancy. Oh, and this is just a bookmark for me because when I rewatch this, maybe like years from now, I'll be reminded. But we are welcoming 2 healthy queen babies in our community. And I know that this is going to change to hundreds and thousands, but it's really cool to say that this is the beginning. Anyways, you always have to like acknowledge your beginnings. And with that topic, it just reminded me that I want to bookmark this. So yeah, what are we talking about? We are getting into the luteal phase. This is days 15 to 28. This is your inner fall. This is when progesterone, we're going to call her like the responsible roommate of your hormones, but estrogen. She's like that friend who wants to literally throw a party. She wants to stay out until 3 a.m. She wants to make all the wild decisions. And progesterone is just like, can we chill for a moment? We should just like read a book. You know, maybe we should water, the planks meditate, but they work perfectly together. They're like the yin and yang. But when estrogen gets a little too wild and progesterone can't keep up, hello mood swings, hello breakouts, cravings, bloating. But here's the thing though, making progesterone takes a lot of energy from your body. So if you skip meals, you do crazy intense workouts, you're literally tired and you're stressed and you're adding stress on top of stress, progesterone taps out. She can't work under these conditions. And then she leaves you with estrogen to deal with all by yourself. That's not good. But your luteal phase also is when you get hungrier. And guess what? It's normal because your metabolism speeds up here. So now that we've talked about every single step of your cycle, I'm going to give you solutions to some of the major issues or symptoms that everybody just seems to say, well, it's just a period. Also, please like this video if you feel like it's been useful so far. If not, I won't keep making these videos. Literally, I get the feedback from you guys. So if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, I'm gonna be like, maybe they won't want to hear this information. Maybe they want something different. As this is a new channel or a new journey that I'm on, I literally want to make sure I'm providing videos that actually help you. So please let me know if this helps. Anyways, let's talk about tender nipples. Should I draw a nipple? Now it looks like an eyeball, right? YouTube would think that this is a fish. So now it looks like a fish. You guys know it's a nipple, but YouTube, it's a fish. No, we can have some like stretch marks. Now it's starting to look like an onion. We're gonna slowly make our way back because now we're talking about sore nipples. What that actually means is that you have a little too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. So you have to balance them out. Think of if you were to make like cookies and you had way too much sugar and not enough flour. It would just be weird. So that's what we have to do when it comes to your hormones in each single stage. And it's actually very simple to fix this. You have to eat your greens. Like I know you're told all the time to just add vegetables, but like there's so much importance to it. And you can make things so simply. Like if you don't like the taste of vegetables right away, just season your veggies. At least that gets you to start incorporating more. Eventually, like you won't have to add oil, for example. And I promise you that it can taste good without oil as well too. But just start incorporating more leafy greens. It's going to really help with the balance of your hormones. And overall, not just balancing your hormones, but everything else in your life. Your mood, which of course can be run by your hormones. We know this. So this is why it's so important, okay? But let me just continue getting into the topic. Estrogen and progesterone, we want to balance it. And one way, just one way, is incorporating more leafy greens. That can be like bok choy, you know, like kale. Kale's actually good, okay? I know everybody goes crazy over kale and we had like a whole kale epidemic at some point, but I feel like we were meant to have that. Kale taught me some things. But you can also supplement with magnesium, for example, as well too. So very huge way of balancing is getting enough sleep, eating healthy fats. If you haven't watched my nutrition video yet, do that after this for one, but you need at least 30% of what you consume in your food coming from things like avocados, nuts, oil, healthy fats. You cannot regulate your hormones without that type of substance going into your system. Remember, they're supposed to be the Destiny's Child. You need to put energy into Destiny's Child. I know no one tells you that testosterone also is developed in your body as well too. I remember I posted a story about women having testosterone and a guy actually reached out and was just like, yo, I didn't know women had testosterone. And I was just like, huh? He was like, no, I really and sincerely did not know. And I'm like, I'm happy I taught you that, really. I need to talk more about this stuff, clearly. But what if you have headaches? That could actually be your estrogen dropping very dramatically, or even your blood sugar. Blood sugar, it's your sugar levels in your blood, of course. It can go up and down like a roller coaster, but to fix your blood sugar, it's actually not about cutting out sugar. It's actually more about balancing meals, you know, eating your fats, your proteins, your carbs, not just a salad, but also eating before you drink your coffee. Based off of what you learned as I'm drawing and now filling in this blood, what phase of my cycle do you think that I am on? I would love to hear your guess based off of how my energy is. I mean, keep in mind, as somebody who identifies as very healthy, my cycle is a fairly healthy one. So what happens if you have a heavy flow? There might be too much estrogen or not enough iron in your body. So here's something that no one's actually ever probably told you. Use a cast iron skillet when you cook. For one, it's great to cook with, but the iron from the skillet literally transfers and gives you a natural boost of iron into your food. This is why it's important to also be aware of what you cook with, because it does at high heat get into your food. But what about having painful cramps that keep you, if you're always using a heating pad because of painful cramps? That's usually because of inflammation. That's when parts of your body get swollen and maybe just a little angry. But usually that can be helped with magnesium, for example. You can also just move your body. I know that's what you don't want to do, but walking, stretching, stretching, breathing, drinking more water, that can help with that. Well, you might think that your body's telling you not to move, but you might misunderstand that communication of it saying we need to just slowly move a little bit to help us get away from what we're feeling internally instead. But what about your mood swings and cravings? This is where your body is begging for food. So I want you to start seeing cravings as I'm hungry, rather than thinking that you're being bad or your hunger cues are a monster. Your body is actually allowed to crave things, even though everybody tells you
cravings are bad. You should try and get rid of them completely. Take this and this to suppress your hunger.
We just need to understand what our body needs and we'll be good. Now, if you are missing or you have irregular periods, that might be your body saying that I don't feel safe enough to do this whole egg releasing thing. When your body is stressed or not getting enough food, it's not thinking we want to make babies. It's thinking I want to survive. And if you've experienced any of these symptoms, I want you to know that your body's doing exactly what it's designed to. She is trying to communicate with you. We just need to understand what she's saying. So this is why understanding your cycle, tracking it, being aware of how you feel, how your body's trying to communicate with you, your cravings, it'll help you learn how to work with your hormones rather than against them. And something beautiful starts happening when you do that. Your body starts to trust that you are safe. And then when your body feels safe, she can finally do the things it's meant to do, like regulate your hormones properly, regulate your hunger, give you steady energy, let go of body fat. Because your body is not the enemy. She's trying to take care of you. She is. But if you ignore your cycle, you're basically trying to live someone else's life in your own body. This is why it's so important to learn all this stuff, because your body isn't broken. She's just speaking a language that nobody taught you or taught us how to understand. But now you understand her, right? Now you are fluent. You speak two different languages and you only speak one language, you know? All I'm saying is just that you deserve to feel at home in your body. You deserve to feel like you have energy, like life is flowing through you. You have rhythm, and that you actually can look in the mirror and feel comfortable and confident with what you see. So try tracking your cycle for 1 month. We can talk in the comments about how you feel. Write down like how your energy is, your moods, your cravings. You're gonna see a cycle. You're gonna see a pattern. And then you're gonna realize once you start allowing yourself to listen, your body is capable of doing so much. So just remember that you're not behind, you're not broken. Every aspect of healing is possible when you understand how to fuel and give food to yourself and just focus on balance. Because I know we all hear work-life balance, financial balance and all that stuff. Sometimes it really does start with our health and understanding what's going on the inside. And if you want me and my team to help and support you with this, I'll always put details in the description below. If we ever do run out of spaces at whichever time, there will always be a link for a wait list too. So that's it for this video. Please like if this helped you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.